What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here today to answer an NFL Mailbag question on the possibility of Caleb Williams forcing his way to play for the Las Vegas Raiders next season. Now, let's talk about it, guys. So, after I answer the question, which will be in a few minutes, I'm going to get into some possible trade packages that, if it does in fact happen, and Williams does want to go to the Raiders, what they will look like. And there's only really a couple options, so we'll talk about those after I give my answer and a couple details on why I believe what I believe. So let's get into it, guys. So this question came yesterday, right after the two things happened. Colin Cowherd on his show stated that he believes that Caleb Williams doesn't want to be a Chicago Bear. And that's been rumored for a while as well. And then also the hiring of Kliff Kingsbury. So let me touch on those two real quick before I give you my answer. I respect Colin Cowherd a lot. I love the volume. I love what he's done. He's been a big dog in mainstream media for a long, long time, right? And it's a guaranteed fact. No question about it. He has connections. He has sources. It's rumored that he's even a booster for USC. I'm not quite sure if it's true or not. Have no clue. But I think his daughter does go there, if not mistaken. But it is rumored he's a booster there, so he might know some people that know Caleb Williams and his family indirectly as a third party. And like I said, I guarantee he has sources. No question about it. When he talks, he's not often right. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not. It doesn't mean the sources. That doesn't mean he's wrong. That means his sources might give him no bad information. Now I will say this. Every source isn't the best source. Just because you have a source on the inside that thinks they know something doesn't mean they know the real tea. So I do respect Colin Cowherd, but this was just to me just speculation. I don't think he really saying that sources told him or something like that. I just think he has a feeling or a gut feeling. But as far as Kliff Kingsbury goes and his ties to Caleb Williams, he was with him for 1 year as the quarterback coach or something like that. I think people are tying too much into the Williams Kliff Kingsbury partnership. I think this isn't Kyler Murray and Kliff Kingsbury from the Cardinals days. If the Bears really thought Kliff Kingsbury was the key to getting keeping Williams happy, they would have signed him for the OC job. Kliff Kingsbury was interviewed by the Bears. He was brought in, talked to him, all that good stuff, and he didn't get the job. So if that was the case, he would be the Bears' offensive coordinator. He's not, so I don't see it being that much of importance. As far as Williams has to get Kliff Kingsbury, I think that's just what we've seen in the past from Kingsbury and Kyler Murray that really puts that effect or puts that in people's mind that it has to happen. But now going to my answer, will he or should Caleb Williams force his way to the Vegas Raiders? I say no. No on both. Should he or will he? No. I don't see the point. I think that the Raiders aren't a better team or doesn't have a better future than the Bears, in my opinion. The Bears, if they play their cards right, the Bears can be a very, very good team the next couple years, no doubt about it. And maybe it depends on if Williams plays well. We've seen what Stroud did. Every rookie quarterback from this point on will not be Stroud, no question about it, no doubt about it. But Williams is a top talent for a reason, so you never know what may happen. But if he plays marginally well, I think the Bears could be in a wild card spot depending on next year and how it goes. We see them this year, a lot of injuries, a lot of bad play, a lot of weird play by some teams and by some top players. So there's a chance the Bears, depending on how the roster is made up around Williams, if he is drafted there, they could be a potential wild card team next year. But I think the Bears have a better overall team. They have a better situation, more cap space. Like I said, they have the better weapons, a better team around him right now if he is drafted there. And if, you know, people discuss about Matt Eberflus and if he's the man for the job, I don't think it really matters. Whether he stays another year or not after this past season. When you have a talent like Caleb Williams and you have DJ Moore and you possibly get another top receiver. I forgot what the second pick was for the Bears, but they have another first round pick right after Caleb Williams, I think in the top 10, top 12. So they're going to have another good player that pair with Williams to make that team go, and then in free agency. if they can get Chris Jones or Ladarius Sneed or someone of that nature that can be a game changer, plus keep Jalen Johnson, I think they can be in a very good spot heading for next year and for the future. The Raiders, if they get Caleb Williams and talk about the trade packages now, they're going to have to give up one of two players, either Max Crosby or Devonte Adams. Now, Max Crosby, I think, is untouchable even in this trade here. Max Crosby, I think, will, if not retire lifetime Raider, he will be a long tenured Raider, and I think his tenure won't end this summer. I don't see it happening. He was the main one. It's kind of confirmed that he was like, I'm gonna trade. I'm gonna demand a trade if we don't bring back Antonio Pierce. And as our full-time head coach, and the Raiders obviously did that. So to turn around and trade Max Crosby and a couple first-round picks would be insane. So I think that's not going to happen. But the Devonte Adams one is interesting. I've been saying since last summer, I've been saying it heavily with my chest out. I think Devonte Adams will be traded this summer. I keep saying that. I said that last summer. He'll be traded this summer of 2024. Raiders fans call me crazy, call me names, but I still think that's the case. And I keep saying it. I don't think he wants to play with Russell Wilson or a rookie quarterback that's not a top tier guy. He's a guy who's at 30, 31. He wants a ring. Clearly he came to Vegas for a ring. It didn't happen. Carr, his man's, got shipped off to the Saints the next year. After he got there, it didn't work out the first year. Like, I don't see him being there much longer. If not next summer, by the trade deadline, if he's healthy, I think Adams could be on the way out. But if that's the case, if Williams does want to go to the Raiders, and then Devonte Adams is a guy for the deal, what would the deal look like? First off, you know, I guess 2 first-round picks plus probably a second or third. And I think DJ Moore went for 2 first-round picks, but Adams is older. So he is older, 30, 31, over 30, you kind of get a little nervous, injuries and the decline. The Raiders might, but I can see too where people say the Raiders might be in the driver's seat to give less than more because Williams has made it clear he don't want to play for them. But I can also see the Raiders being so desperate because the Raiders aren't the only landing spot that he might want to go to if Caleb Williams wants to demands to go somewhere else. The Commanders are an option. My Falcons are an option. We have cap space. We have players. We have this. So, you know, um, I can see it both ways on people saying the Raiders have the ups if Williams wants out of Chicago, or I can see people saying Chicago can demand more because the Raiders don't have a lot to give, and they give me a superstar receiver, but he's old. He's older. He's like 31, so you might have to give up 2 firsts, Devonte Adams, and maybe another second-round pick or third-round pick just because he's a little older player. And injuries and the decline could affect his value. So I see it both ways there, but all in all, that would be the kind of centerpiece of the package. Devonte Adams plus 2 picks, maybe more if that's the case, and that's really the two only options. Nothing else really would net Caleb Williams back for the Raiders in my personal opinion. Those are the two best players and the two most tradable players that would get the most bang for your buck if you're the Bears and trading away potentially one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL if he reaches his max potential because he is kind of a Pat Mahomes light junior kind of sort of but he's not. The thing with him is, to me, his smaller frame. Pat Mahomes is a big boy, 6'3", 6'4". It got a little weight on him. Caleb Williams, 6'1". We'll see what he actually measures out at, and not that big of a frame. So I don't think that much weight can be added to his frame. So he's not Pat Mahomes all the way there because Pat Mahomes' not weight, but body size, body mass definitely plays into how hard he is to tackle, his shiftiness, his sneaky shiftiness. Williams is shifty, but he's a little on the smaller side as well. But the arm talent is definitely close. Definitely reminds you of a Pat Mahomes. So I will give it to him there. But the body, is a little different. The frame is a little different. But the arm talent is definitely, close, pretty daggone close. So, so for me, that's my answer, guys. a trade package for Caleb Williams would be Devonte Adams plus 2 first-round picks, maybe more. But overall, I think he will not be a Raider. I don't see him forcing his way to to the Raiders. I think the Bears, if they do want him, he will go there. And I think he will be a Chicago Bear. Trade Justin Fields to the Raiders, maybe. That could be a thing. Or you could, send him to Atlanta, to my Falcons, Steelers. The list goes on of the possible teams that could get Fields. But we'll talk about that in another video. But that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.